During the week, you're absolutely killing it. You're making all your meals from scratch, you're hitting the gym, your food prep is locked in. And then the weekend comes. The first thing that I'm going to eat today is my new obsession. Where has this been my entire life? I'll tell you where it's not, and that's Elon University in North Carolina, because when I was in college and I would go to the dining hall, ask me to complain about where I went to school, and I will come up with very few things to complain about because I'm so blessed to have had an incredible university experience and education. But if there is one drawback, it is the melon at the dining hall. I never really had melon before I went to college, and then when I did, it was hard as a rock with no taste, and so that was my first experience with melon, and so I was like, I'm not a melon girl. But then I went to brunch recently, and there was cantaloupe in my fruit bowl, and it was delicious. So I got a cantaloupe and I ate half of it last night, and I'm obsessed with this. So all I do, like I'm a cantaloupe pro. I started doing this last night rather. I have cut the cantaloupe in half, and I'm gonna scoop out the seeds, and then I'm just gonna take a spoon, and it's already in a bowl. And I'm just going to eat it. And it's so great because you don't have to wash it or anything. I mean, cantaloupe is my favorite now. Hello, my honeys. It's Emmie. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Emmie. I'm a nutritionist and the creator of the Slim on Starch program, where you work with me as well as a mindset coach and a nutrition coach to lose weight on a plant-based diet. If you want to do that, click the link in the down bar or just go to healthyhunnies.org. I'm going to be meeting up with my significant other a little bit later, so I'm going to be leaving the house. So I want to make sure that I get some fuel in before I head out. If you have time at home, take advantage of it. Fuel up your body. If you head out of the house and you haven't eaten, hangry is about to happen. And we don't make great decisions when we're hungry. We make really good decisions when we're nice and fueled up. So I'm gonna get myself nice and fueled up before leaving the house. And here's how I'm gonna do it. I have a plate here with yellow bell pepper that I've sliced up, cucumber that I've sliced up, and some red onion that I've sliced up. On another plate, I'm gonna take some romaine and make some boats. Then I'm going to take some guacamole. You could do hummus, you could do black bean dip, you could do black beans themselves, whatever you want as a spread here. You could do mustard. I'm gonna do some guac, and I'm just gonna spread it on each boat here. I cooked up some Lundberg wild rice. You could use any grain here. Wild rice, quinoa, brown rice, white rice. I did wild rice. And I'm gonna fill the boats with the rice. And then I'm just gonna take the veggies and put them into the little boats. So as you can see here, got myself sort of like a little taco situation going on. So you would just eat them as such. And then I'm gonna take the extra veg, put it on the side, and then I'm gonna take some hummus. This is oil-free hummus. And I'm gonna put a little dollop of that on the side too, so that I can dip my veg into the hummus. And if I want some hummus with my little wraps here, I can have that as well. So we are going to, my significant other and I, we're going on a double date tonight. We're going to meet at a Mexican restaurant, and then we're gonna go to a paint bar. Oh yeah. So let me pull up the menu for the Mexican restaurant, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna get. So looking at the menu, Mexican is my favorite cuisine, and I know that we're having Mexican tomorrow. We're going to my parents, and it's Mexican weekend there. I am going to go for the tortilla garden salad. It is mixed greens, avocado, jicama, radish, pico, onion. There is cheese. I'm gonna leave the cheese off, and I'm gonna leave the dressing off. And I'm going to get a side of corn tortillas. And then I am going to bring along, because most dressings are super high in fat, and sometimes they have egg yolks and oil, and so I am now obsessed with these. These are the Good Food queso, and I discovered them when my mom and I were on vacation last week, and we made a bowl, and I put some of this over the bowl, and I was like, where has this been my entire life? Because it's literally a salad dressing and it's sweet. It doesn't taste like queso at all. I mean, I was never a big queso girl, but from what I can remember, this doesn't taste anything like it, but this tastes like a billion times better. It's so sweet. It's made from cauliflower, red bell peppers, almonds, almond butter, apple cider vinegar, red onions, lemon juice, garlic, salt, nooch, chia, and then spices. So yeah, a little bit higher in fat. I personally I'm fine having richer foods like this. This is a richer food because it's pretty much made from almonds and almond butter. So totally fine by me. But if you are looking to lose weight, you might want to be a little bit careful because this is a richer food and it's gonna make your food taste way more delicious, which I'm happy about. I'll see you there. I'm about to go on a work date with my significant other. We are going to bring some food, meet, and have a little work date. So I'm gonna show you what I'm going to bring along with me. I just posted a video where I made this delicious pasta salad. So the recipe for this will be in the down bar. And what I love about this recipe is that it travels so well. You can keep it refrigerated, you can throw it into the fridge, or you can bring it along in a cooler. I find people get very overwhelmed when it comes to what am I going to eat when I'm not in the house? Well, you can eat the same thing as when you're in the house, just bring it along with you. So I have my little to-go container here and I'm just gonna put some in. What's also great about this dish is that it honestly gets better as it sits. So I've got that, and I am also going to bring along, because we're gonna meet at a spot where I can surely get some hot water. I'll be next to a cafe outdoors, and I'm going to bring along one of the McDougall's black bean and lime soups. I love these ones. This is definitely my favorite, but all you have to add is hot water. So this is great because you can throw it in your bag and you don't have to worry about temperature. At the restaurant, I ordered the salad, just as I said, and I also ordered a side of corn tortillas and a side of guac, and I brought my dressing, mixed that on, and honestly, this hit the spot. They gave me the nice warm corn tortillas, and this is DIY tacos, baby. So this was absolutely delicious. And what I loved most about it is that afterward we went to a paint bar and we had the greatest time at the paint bar. And it was so great to sit there and to feel energized and feel good in my body and not feel like I had a stomach ache or I was weighed down or water retention. When you fuel yourself with high quality foods, you can then focus on the company and the experience and the primary foods that we say, and all the while still loving what I was having. So it's the best of both worlds when you do this. I loved what I had for my dinner, and then I had a great time afterward, and I felt fantastic too. And when you eat majority whole plant foods, your taste buds can appreciate the taste of whole plant foods. So this was so delicious and I felt fantastic afterward. The next morning, my significant other and I, we went to brunch and I just got a fruit bowl, and the fruit bowl had melon and pineapple and berries, and I knew that I wanted to enjoy the time with him. There wasn't really anything else on the menu that was vegan. It was a French toast, kind of, one of those places. So I asked for a bowl of fruit and I enjoyed that bowl of fruit, and then a little bit afterwards, I was able to make myself some oatmeal. And what I love so much about the philosophy that I have around food is that just because I am at a restaurant having a meal right now, it doesn't mean that this is my breakfast and I can't eat anything until the next meal. I'm going to enjoy the time with my significant other. I'm going to enjoy a gorgeous fruit bowl. And then if I'm hungry afterward, or if I'm hungry an hour afterward, I'm just going to have something else to eat. Eating is not an emergency. I don't need to absolutely stuff myself to the brim every time time I eat. So I enjoyed this gorgeous fruit bowl, had a little bit of oatmeal afterward, and we had a great day in the city. My boyfriend lives right near a grocery store, Whole Foods, actually. So I just popped over to Whole Foods and got some potatoes and I got some lettuce, and very, very simple, very easy. I cut up the potatoes, I lined them on parchment paper. I put them in the oven at 425 degrees for about 20 minutes until they were cooked through. And my absolute favorite thing to do is to take my potatoes and wrap them in lettuce. If you want to add condiments to this, you totally can. You could add some avocado or hummus, or you could do ketchup, mustard, salsa. I just love the taste of these two things together. So this is what I had a little bit later. Then we went to Healthy Parents for dinner, as we always do on the weekends, and we were so pumped because Healthy Dad was making his Mexican. You can get his entire Mexican food recipe from his cookbook, the Healthy Dad cookbook. It is linked in the down bar. It is one of my favorite meals of all time. So I had corn tortillas, and then I put a bunch of rice and beans on, and his rice and beans are so good. He makes them in the crock pot following the recipe that's in the cookbook, as well as some guacamole, some peppers and onions that he water sautés, some lettuce, and some salsa. And I made 2 of these, enjoyed them, and then sat for a little bit with my family for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then decided that I was going to have 2 more. So I had double what you see here. Falling off track on the weekends. Listen, honeys, I get it. I mean, if anybody's popular, so I understand that there are social gatherings, and that at these gatherings there's other food around, and then the alcohol comes into play, and all of a sudden your hands in the cookie jar, your hands in the chip jar. Everybody else is doing it. Trust me, I get it. I talk about this all the time with my clients. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you everything that I eat on this Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to show you what I eat this weekend, and I'm going to give you my top tips so that you can stay on track on the weekends. I'm going to be identifying the problem for why you're not staying on track and give you the solution. You best believe I took out the whiteboard for this. I mean business. I mean business. So the weekend binge. It might not be a binge for you. It might just be that you're falling off track, but I think this is a really powerful title, the weekend binge. You might not be able to read what it says here because of the lighting, my lighting being so superior. But it says the problem. So I'm going to identify 3 problems as to what causes you to go off plan on the weekends. The 3 problems, you might be running into all of them, some of them, hopefully not none of them. Well, actually, hopefully. But in order for this video to be helpful, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to identify the solution. So let's do it. Problem number 1 is that you don't know what you want. What do I mean by this? Well, during the week, you probably are thinking, I love eating this way. I love being healthy. This is what I want. And then on the weekend, you say, well, actually, I want to have some fun. I want to be able to let loose. And you mistakenly are falling into the black and white mindset of that it has to be one or the other, and you can't decide which one you want. Do I want to be a healthy person, or do I want to be somebody that lets loose on the weekends? Which one of these things do I want? This is why one of the first things, actually the first mindset exercise that I do with my clients in the Slim on Starch program is we determine your food philosophy so that you can have a bigger picture here of what you want your relationship with food to be, so that before you engage in a certain action, you can ask yourself, is this aligned with my food philosophy? And you can practice the concept of being both. You don't have to be healthy or unhealthy. You don't have to be whole foods, plant-based, or you have some processed foods. You don't have to fit yourself into a box. You are an individual. And it takes you stepping back and deciding, what do I want in the long term for myself? Looking bigger picture, encapsulating all of the circumstances that I'm going to go through for the rest of my life. What do I want my relationship with food to be? Do I want to be somebody that has a couple drinks when I'm out with my friends? If so, how often do I want that to happen? Do I want it to be every weekend? Do I want it to be once a month? Do I want it to be only on special occasions? You have to gain clarity on this, because if you don't, then you go into these situations and you're like, I don't know. You throw your hands up and then you just eat what everybody else is eating. You drink what everybody else is drinking. And it's because you're unsure of what you truly want for yourself. So the solution here is for you to become clear on what long-term health is for you. I've underlined here long-term and for you because I want you to look long-term and consider, what is this going to look like for the rest of my life? Is what I'm doing right now sustainable? Do I need to loosen up? Do I need to tighten up? Am I drinking too much for the sake of my health? Am I not letting loose enough that I'm becoming isolated and not being social anymore? What do I want in the long term for myself? And then also I've underlined for you because I think that at least the clients that I speak with, they'll say, well, Emmie, you do this, or I see so-and-so online and they do that. And I go, it's great for me and it's great for them, but let's talk about you and what your life looks like. My life is different from your life. What is it that you need? You have different family than me. You have a different job than me, different circumstances. So let's talk about those and what's going to be sustainable for you. Don't let your ego come into this and say, well, I have to do what everybody else is doing. No, you got to do what you're doing. Problem number 2 is that you don't have a routine on the weekends. During the week, you get up, you shower, you drive to work, you come home, you have your supper, you go to bed, right? That's what you do. They know when I film. I know you know I'm filming. But then the weekend comes and you don't have a routine anymore. And so you're just kind of putzing around the house. I don't know, do you guys want to go out to eat? I mean, there's nothing else to do. Got to set a routine for yourself and make it pretty similar to what you do when you're successful. If you get up, you work out, you shower, you get in the car, you go somewhere, let's do that then. Let's have you wake up, get ready, shower, work out, take a drive, maybe take a drive, but you're not going to work this time. You go to a nature trail and you go for a walk, or you drive to the grocery store and you pick up groceries. You have to set a weekend routine for yourself because the lack of structure, you're going to fill that likely with food. It's a very common thing that's a part of the Western culture, at least, is to abuse food to fill space. I know that in many European cultures, food is not abused to fill space. Meal times are hours and hours long because of social engagement with one another. Whereas here it's like, how much of this food can we stuff in? How much alcohol can we stuff in? So anyway, that's a conversation for a different time. But basically, the solution here is to create a weekend routine for yourself that resembles your weekday routine without work. And you can fill, instead of work, you can fill it with activities with other people, being social, reading a book, cleaning your house, with things that bring you joy. So the solution, create a routine for the weekend. And then the third problem that we both see, we see this all the time, right? All right, honey, we got my little baby. Okay. The third reason why I find that people are not staying on plan on the weekends is because they're not being honest with others about what their health intentions are at the moment. And trust me, I totally get why this is. I know that a lot of people are very insecure about their health journey. I can completely understand this, that it can feel embarrassing to talk about for many different reasons. Maybe you've been dieting your whole life. Maybe you are in a body that you don't feel is worthy of eating healthy food. I have heard people say, it breaks my heart, and this is why I'm your number one cheerleader. If you're trying to get healthy, I'm on your team, no matter what shell your body is in. But I'll have people say to me, well, I'm very overweight, so I'm embarrassed to be eating healthy. Whereas when I see somebody eating healthy, I'm so impressed. I admire their desire and tenacity to take over their health and take control of their life. So isn't it interesting just how you see it one way, I see it another way? I find it really admirable. You find it something to be embarrassed about. But in any event, I would encourage you to be honest with others about what your desires are around health. Because if they don't know, they're going to ask you to go get, I'm not going to say any foods because I don't want to trigger anybody, but your friends are going to ask you, hey, do you want to go get this food? Do you want to go get that food? I brought this over for you. Do you want to come over for this? Do you want to come over for that? But if they know what your health goals are, perhaps you can suggest another activity, or you can go to a restaurant that is aligned with your goals, or you can have them over and cook with them. If you don't tell them, they don't know, and they're not mind readers. And so they're going to offer you foods that aren't aligned with your health goals. And maybe they still do offer you these foods, but there again, you have to be honest with them. People offer me stuff all the time, and I am completely honest. I say, I don't eat this. I don't eat this. I don't eat that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you offering. It's nothing personal. anything that would turn it down in a very polite way. But you got to be honest because people aren't mind readers. They don't know. So the solution here is to be clear, honest, and firm in your communication. Being firm is the most important. And just because you're firm, it doesn't mean that you're mean. These are not synonyms for one another. I would consider myself when I communicate with others regarding my health habits, I'm firm. But people don't call me mean. I mean, maybe they do behind my back, but I'm really not mean. But anyway, you can be firm and still be nice. And with that, I'm going to eat some more food.